If you never owned a Spyderco, you'll be surprised how beautiful and amazing this is. So we have a head-to-head battle between two of my favorite knives that are coming directly from Spyderco. This is the Para Professional Para number 3 and the Maniacs, what I like to call the Matrix knife. What is the big difference between those two? Pretty much it comes down to size. Does matter. The Para, the Maniacs. This one is small, handy, and does most jobs amazing. Very good grip too. If you have a bigger hand, this thing might be too small. Talking about small, the Native is even small. But this one is just big. What makes this exceptionally good, Maniacs, is the grip, which is much more solid than this. This is lightweight compared to the Maniacs. This is just a beauty. This is not for automatic switchblade. Basically, it is spring-loaded. To pull this down really hard, and then you can put this back together. In some ways, opening it up is easy. But the biggest drawback of this is this button right here. You have to put a lot of force for you to close it. Put the force in, that's it. You just put it once and it closes up. Opens very easy. For some people, this switch is something they're not gonna like. In fact, it makes this one step more dangerous than this one. Pretty much because you have to pull the switch with some power, slip accidentally and cut yourself. It's probably unlikely to happen, but it could. Once you get used to it, you understand it's probably not likely to happen. Just pull this in a little bit, but you have to keep on pulling it for this to work and moving it down. This two-step process could get super annoying. The Maniacs, I just love this right here. The material. In terms of size, let's take a look. This one is about 8 inches. The blade is only 3. On this one, we are talking about 2.5 inches, 2 3/4 of an inch. Altogether it's 7. The profile in terms of the size wise, this is a much bigger knife. They're both made in the United States. You can see here where people don't like the pocket knife to stick out of their pants. This is very good. On the other hand, with the Paras, you have to understand this sticks out more than this if you put this in your pocket. If you're in a territory where there's a lot of pocket thieves, this is gonna show. This is really not gonna show that much. This could be a game changer for some people. They don't like that kind of stuff. The blades, everything else, the material, marksmanship is almost the same. It's a little bit heavier, just slightly. There's no reason to weigh because it's about they're both kind of lightweight. This one also not so good edge. But still, both of them are some of the most sought out and most wanted knives with Spyderco. I pretty much think that the Para might be the better choice for most people. The blade mechanism, opening and closing the switch blade like here, is much more easier to deal with. The biggest problem with this one, I think eventually the spring might actually break and you have to send it back to the factory for you to put this together. Although it's a very good company, a knife company, probably won't break for a very long time if it ever even does. But if you don't want to take a chance, then go ahead and go for the Para. It is really a beauty, this knife. It is just as much as a beauty as the Para knife. So there's only two really big differences. The switch, which I'm not a fan of, and it being a higher profile, which is a personal choice. You really need more cutting surface. Do you really need a bigger blade? Is this too small for your hands? And if so, this is probably the right size for you. Other than that, there is no other differences between them. They open very easily, they're both beautiful, and it's up to you to decide which one you're going to be getting. Hello and welcome back to the show. Today's video featuring the Manix, and this is a Spyderco knife. If you never owned a Spyderco, you'll be surprised how beautiful and amazing this is. And yet, there's a few issues about this knife which I don't recommend for most people. If you have big arms, you're gonna love this knife, especially if you have a big hand. As you can see over here, my hand is kind of big. So this might be not a bad knife for me. But then again, it's not for everybody. As a pocket carry knife, this is kind of large. On the positive side, the pocket clip over here is not going to stick out as much as another knives by Spyderco, and that's a big positive for some people. Another thing is the switchblade, kind of a clip here. This is not a switchblade knife. It is semi-auto, not automatic. So to pull this down, you have to engage the locking mechanism, which is going to be super tight. Regardless of how much you're going to be pushing on this, it's still going to be tight. Now, to get this to unlock, you have to just push it in once. And when it moves like this, it means it's unlocked and you can close it up. To open it, you have to move this and it opens up just like that. It has and features a G10 handle. Beautiful, beautiful knife with a black edge to it. Just loving it. The all black almost is identical in style and substance as the Paramilitary version of the same thing. The biggest difference is in terms of size. 8 inches. whereas the blade is only 2 and 3/4. No, I would say about 3 inches. Just like the Para, it features this very nice edge right here, and this edge lets you press on it, and it also features on the bottom of it as well. It also has those grips here, and this is something that the Para Professional knife does not actually have, so that's kind of cool. Everything else, every other feature is nearly identical with the Para Professional line of knives. Being a big knife, it is a plus and a minus for you. If you need a bigger knife, then go for this one. The best features out of this is really the bigger handle, not really the bigger knife. It's only very slightly bigger, but the handle is much more bigger, and if you're cutting things and you need a bigger handle, this is the knife for you. I think that for me, this handle is a little bit on the big side. Because of that, I'm not too happy. Another thing, might be minor for some people, is that this kind of a knife, the G10 handle, is known for attracting all kinds of dirt and just anything right on it. Best thing about this knife is that it's made in the United States, quality made. It is beautiful. If you want to give somebody an expensive gift, it is more heavy than the Para Professional. It feels more substantial in my hand, and it also looks a lot more substantial as well. It doesn't feel cheap, not at all. It feels and looks like a $200 knife, which it is. On the downside, for some people, maybe you, the biggest deal maker is this mechanism right here. It's hard to pull. It's annoying. I find it hard for me to get used to it, and it might actually break eventually. Just another mechanism that could potentially break. Not something that I like in a DC carry. If you're depending on this for everyday survival, you're in the woods and this thing goes bad on you, that's it, that's the end of the knife. In terms of potential for injury, I also think this makes it a little bit more of a dangerous knife as well. You have to use a lot of power to pull this off and to pull this in. I just think that this is another thing that you are focusing on when you should be focusing on the blade. You're pulling this in, an experienced person might potentially cut themselves. Other than that, those are probably the only real issues of this knife. If you like it and you like this channel, make sure to smash the thumbs up button and of course subscribe to it, because you never know what is the next video we're going to be reviewing on this channel. So you're going to be getting the Manix knife. If so, write down comments below and let me know why you're getting it and why not.